Many of you know that my company, Soultools, is a spiritual self-development company, and you may be wondering why we've brought it to the corporate world. Well, many people have come to our workshops for their own personal self-development, and they told us, you should bring this to the corporate world because it's needed. And I didn't really think about it much. And they said, no, there's a lot of negativity in the corporate world. People come into corporations, they're not really prepared for what they have to deal with. They don't have communication skills, they're blaming, they're irresponsible, et cetera, et cetera. Very, very negative. So we were told over and over again, there's a lot of negativity in the corporate world. And your spiritual teachings can help them. And I was thinking, spiritual teachings in the corporate world, it seems to not really work. But then I began thinking about it, and I began searching on Google and finding that many, many organizations are imbibing meditation practices, yoga, prayer, and other spiritual teachings in the corporate environment. And in fact, that I read that many corporations are not letting this information out because it's helping people so much they don't want the competition to know. And some of you may know they have a thing called spiritual quotient. We have emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, intellectual intelligence, and physical intelligence, or physical quotient. And emotional quotient, emotional intelligence came out in the early 90s, and that was like the next big thing because people realized intelligent people are not always successful. People who have skills are not always successful. They need to have interpersonal skills. They need to know how to deal with one another, and they need to know how to deal with themselves. But then later on, they discovered the spiritual quotient. That meaning is even more powerful. What motivates people is purpose. Why? What can I give? What can I create? What can I do to actually contribute to make the company better, to utilize my skills and talents and fulfill a higher purpose? So that's the spiritual quotient. So then I started experimenting with direct spiritual teachings and how they would apply on a practical level. And one of my favorite teachings is the teaching about ego. Ego is, of course, taught in many religions, and the way we understand ego is a false identification. We think we're better than we are. We think we're the greatest thing that ever hit the world. We have a need to be right. Everybody has to listen to us, do what we say. We have to have control, power, and that just doesn't work. And one of the biggest losses I see in corporations, and it really disheartens me, and I see it often, you have many, many really skilled, intelligent people with fantastic ideas. And those ideas never make it to ears that will listen, because the ears that could listen think, I'm smarter, I've been around, I'm older, I know what's going on. And a lot of those good ideas end up leaving that company because the people working for the company are frustrated that their ideas are not being heard and listened to, and they start their own companies. So that's unfortunate. Or maybe it's fortunate for the person who started the company, but it's unfortunate for the company. So spiritual teachings are highly based or founded on the principle of ego. Ego is a false identification, and that false identification is a physical identification. I am the physical, when actually we're the spiritual.